Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. This is the weekly gaming news for the week of September 28th, 2015, bringing you the chef's choice of gaming news. So it's actually a much smaller gaming news week than last week's was. With the Sony press conference and the Tokyo Game Show, there was so much to go and cover. So if you did actually go and watch my gaming news video for last week and you watched it all the way to the end, thank you so very much for going and watching all that massive content. But it's actually a much smaller gaming week, so that being the case, let's get cooking, shall we? Moving on down the list to our first menu item, we've got Mighty Number 9. So this has actually kind of become a favorite topic of mine, I guess. So Concept has gone and announced the release date for Mighty Number 9. The third time, hopefully it's the charm this time, the third time they've actually gone and done so. So the original release date was, for the Kickstarter, was going and targeting April 2015. Of course, that one missed. They went and got a developer, and they went, or rather a publisher, and they went and pushed the title back to September of 2015, September 15th. But midsummer they went and announced that that wasn't going to go and happen, and that the title was pushed all the way back to first quarter 2016. So we finally have our 2016 release date, and that is February 9th, 2015, and I believe the following week for Europe. So the 9th is the release date for NA, and I'm assuming Japan, but I'm not certain on the Japanese part. Anyway, in addition to going and having the release date, Concept also went and released the demo that was promised to Kickstarter backers when the title was delayed from its September 15th release date. So, if you went and kickstarted Mighty Number 9 and are interested in going and grabbing the demo, it's PC only, so be aware of that. But you can go and grab it from the Humble Bundle store, and there's instructions how to obtain it from the actual Mighty Number 9 news page itself. I'll include the link to that in the description below. So if you haven't gone and already grabbed that demo, go ahead and check out the description for the link and look into it yourself. I've downloaded it, but I haven't gotten the chance to go and try it yet myself, though I am looking forward to it. So, next item on the menu, we've got Mega Man Legends. So it seems like there's almost this weird pairing where Mighty Number 9 news and Mega Man Legends news always seems to come out in the same week, although the Mega Man Legends news did come out earlier in the week than the Mighty Number 9 did. And that news is that Capcom is going and bringing Mega Man Legends to the PlayStation Network this following Tuesday, September 29th. So just right around the corner. There had been some thought that there might have been some licensing or other contract or copyright issues going and preventing Capcom from releasing the Mega Man Legends 1 franchise in particular on the PlayStation Network, but if there hasn't been any issues like that, apparently Capcom was able to go and get them cleared up. So that one's going and coming out like just right around the corner, and I recommend it if you're a fan of PlayStation era action RPGs. If you're a fan of the Mega Man series, it's a lot thornier of an issue. If you've never gone and played Mega Man Legends, it's, well, like I said, an action RPG that's very different from other Mega Man titles. So just going and being a fan of the Mega Man series, I don't think is quite enough to be able to go and, for me to go and recommend Mega Man Legends to you, since it's a really radically different kind of game than the actual main series and the X series as well. So bear that in mind. But that said, I do feel it's very worth going and playing. So if you haven't actually had the chance to go and play that one, or you are a fan of it, it's out on the PlayStation Network this Tuesday, so definitely go and look that up. I'll definitely go and be picking it up, as I don't actually go and own a copy of the original Mega Man Legends. I have a copy of Legends 2, but not the first one for some reason. I just never got around to going and picking it up at the time. So there's that. Moving on to our next menu item. This one's kind of an interesting one. So, Call of Duty Black Ops. Activision went and announced that they are not going to be including the campaign in the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 versions of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Going and stating, and here's the quote for it, "The ambitious scope of the 1 to 4 player co-op campaign designed for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC versions couldn't be faithfully recreated on old generation hardware." So that's kind of a sad way to go and put it. Old generation hardware. I still love my PlayStation 3, and the Xbox 360 goes and has a sweet spot in my heart as well. So, but one thing that this definitely goes and shows is that as far as even big AAA developers are concerned, those consoles are definitely on the way out. So the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 versions of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 are still going to go and have the multiplayer and the zombie modes, but there's not going to go and be the campaign, which in this case is going to be designed as a co-op campaign, which is a great idea, I think, in my mind. But they are going to go and get a price drop for going and having that removed from it. So instead of being the usual $60, it's only going to go and be $50. But you're only going and getting part of the game. I know for a lot of Call of Duty fans that the campaign doesn't really matter at all anyway. So maybe it was a good choice. But this goes and leaves me with a little bit of a sad spot in my heart going and seeing the last generation of video gaming consoles finally going and coming to an end. There's still so much that I have in my backlog to go and play for the PlayStation 3, so much love and so many great times and experiences that I've gone and had on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 that I myself am not ready to go and let those go, even if the big developers are. So looking forward, we'll have to go and see how that goes, but this is definitely a sad note for me to go and see that even larger developers that were planning stuff for the older consoles are going and beginning to go and cut features, and I know it's been going on for a while, but still, this one's definitely a big one to go and note. I mean, next year, maybe we won't even see a Call of Duty released on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Alright, next item on our menu is one that definitely has me very excited. So the Muv-Luv series is one of the most recognized visual novels out there. If you go to the visual novel database and just go and look at the rankings, Muv-Luv Alternative, which is the second/third title in the original trilogy, I guess it's technically the third since it is a trilogy, is the highest ranking title on the site by a decent amount as well, with the really impressive Steins Gate going and being the second runner-up. So if you've played Steins Gate, since it's recently been released in English, both in Europe and the North American regions, you can go and attest to just how good of a visual novel that is. And if the Muv-Luv franchise is even better, then that's definitely something to go and look forward to. So when launched their excuse me. Anyway, the Kickstarter campaign for Muv-Luv had been announced previously, but it actually launched on September 25th, and it was actually funded, even though they were going asking for $250,000 on the first day, just 8 hours in actually. So here we are, barely more than 3 days in, and at last I went and looked at it, it's already at $426,000. So they've already fit their first stretch goal, and it just keeps on going. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Muv-Luv, it's a visual novel that's kind of a spin-off from the Kimi ga Nozomu Eien world created by the visual novel developer Age in Japan. It originally came out back in 2003 for the PC, and then the sequel Muv-Luv Alternative came out in 2006. There also have been several console versions released for like the PSP and the PlayStation 3, and most recently there were 2 PlayStation 3 fan discs released last year. Photon Flowers and Photon Melodies. So, and which those 2 titles are also stretch goals like further on, so I'm really hoping those go and get met. I am definitely going to go and be planning on, I'm not sure if I'll be contributing to the Kickstarter or not, but I'll definitely be picking up these titles when they go and come out, and well, I thought you might be interested in going and knowing about them, so I went and included that news in this week's show. And moving on to our last item, we've got some information about Persona 4 Dancing All Night, which is out this Tuesday as well. This Tuesday is definitely a big one for me. I'm really looking forward to this release week. and next week's too. But anyway, back to the news. So Alice has gone and confirmed that the Hatsune Miku DLC that had been released in Japan is also going to go and get released in the United States as well. And this is exciting news because, especially when you're going and talking about video games with cross-series promotions and tie-ins, a lot of times those don't always go and make it from one region to the next. So I was a little worried that we might not actually go and get Hatsune Miku for Project or Persona 4 Dancing All Night. But it's been confirmed that she is indeed coming out for the North American version, and she'll be available to go and download on October 20th at a price of $4.99. It'll be the character itself, and she goes and comes with her own song sung by Hatsune Miku, which is one of the themes from one of the dungeons in the game, Heaven, featuring Hatsune Miku, the Atoll remix. And it's definitely an interesting remix, since she is already available for the Japanese version of the game. It's possible to find that on YouTube if you go looking for it. But this is definitely exciting news because I love Hatsune Miku. I'm really looking forward to Persona 4 Dancing All Night. So you go and add those two together and it's just like, yes! I'm excited. Alright, well, that will wrap up my weekly gaming news. So, as always, if you go and have any comments about suggestions to improve the show or other news articles that I can go and include in the show, by all means, please go and leave those in the comments below. Thank you so much for going and coming out and joining me today for the weekly gaming news, and I'll hope to go and see you again next week.